Welcome, ladies and gents. Alright, so welcome back to my channel, ladies and gents. Yeah, if you're one of my, I think like 5 subscribers, mom, if you're watching, hi. Yeah, so in my very first video, I decided to do something which was more art-based, and seeing as this is an art and tech channel, I thought, in this video we would cover something tech related. And so for this video, I decided to kick off our tech-based video by starting off with the AirPods and just talking about why I feel like they've still remained to this day the industry standard when it comes to wireless headphones. So we'll be looking at the OGs, the AirPod 1s, and all the way through to the AirPod Pros. Now, this is just more or less, a talk about why I feel like they've still remained so mainstream, even after there's so much competition out there regarding wireless headphones. I mean, there are a lot of good other options that you can choose from, within similar to even, similar price points to even, a better deal than AirPods. But still, these remain, like I said, the industry standard. So I guess we'll just be talking about why that is, and I guess what's the deal here. And alright guys, so just a quick disclaimer, this is not exactly going to be a review per se for these AirPods and like AirPods Pro. There's plenty of those out there already. This is more just my opinion on why I feel personally that, just in day-to-day use and with my experience, why I feel like, the AirPods and the AirPods Pro remain so versatile, for me at least. And so this is more, it's just my opinion. I just wanted to talk about, why these are so, why these are so loved by everyone. Despite the crazy choices Apple chooses to make, pricing and all that kind of stuff, people still really are drawn to these. And so yeah, I guess you could think of this more as like a tech talk. I think we'll stick with that, like a tech talk. Totally not ripping that off from somewhere, but yeah. All right, guys, so let's get into our TED Talk. Wait, no, not TED Talk. Let me just get rid of that real quickly. Definitely don't want to say TED Talk. What I actually meant to say was our Tech Talk, and we clearly don't need this guy here, so let's switch him out for me. And this is the Tech Talk with yours truly as the host. All right, guys, that's enough mucking about. That's pretty much it for the Photoshop tutorial. Let's get into the video for my sanity's sake. Alright guys, so let's start off with the first generation Apple AirPods. And yeah, this is crazy because this is where it all began for Apple. And this is the iconic design that started it all, really. And I think what I'll do is I'll start off with the specs for those who are interested. So we'll start with the W1 chip, which was Apple's proprietary tech or whatever. Oops. And yeah, that's kind of what made these earphones, wireless earphones, so special, is because of that. The efficiency of the W1 chip allowed for 5 hours of listening time on one charge, and the case itself could keep the actual earphones themselves charged for up to 24 hours. So you had plenty of listening time with this, with the first generation. All right, so you've probably guessed it already. I don't actually have physically the second generation AirPods, and that was because I had a choice between the AirPods Pro and the second generation AirPods, and obviously I went for the AirPods Pro. It was worth the extra money, in my opinion. And I think, to anybody who's even thinking about it, honestly, I think it's worth paying extra for the AirPods Pro. Just because, the whole incremental upgrade thing it's okay, I guess, but I couldn't really justify paying for it. Because if I was just between, the AirPods 1 and the second generation, I would just stick with the first generation. There had to be something done differently for me to actually pay money for, the next great thing. So this was it, and I'll actually get into detail about why why this is it. This is it. This is the next step. So coming on to the AirPods Pro, as you can see with my really, really flashy, totally not fake Gucci case that I totally did not get off Amazon. Um, yeah, and this case, it's fun. It's funny. I thought this was really funny. But honestly, I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if you can actually tell, but with these ones, I didn't really look after them that well. There's a bunch of like micro scratches and things like that on them, which for these, because I paid quite a bit of money, I didn't really want to ruin the actual case itself. So I went and I did what any person would do. I went and bought a Gucci case of all cases, um, just because I mean the AirPods Pro, that's already a flex in and of itself. But why not just go over the top with it? So yeah, these are the AirPods Pro, the latest iteration in the AirPods series, I guess, for Apple. Now, one of the headlining features of the AirPods Pro is, I guess you've already kind of seen that the actual shape of the AirPods is differs slightly, and because you've got these kind of tips, which honestly have a way more secure fit than the first generations. If I had to complain about the first generation, then it would be that the fit wasn't exactly the greatest, and sometimes if you'd go for a jog or something, they would get loose, and there was a chance that they could fall off. With these, though, they have effectively, I guess, in my opinion, because everybody's ears are shaped differently, right? So, at least in my opinion, and for me personally, these do the trick. Now, in terms of all the sensors, you get all the similar sensors from the first generation. You got the dual beam forming microphones, inward facing microphone, which I think is new, dual optical sensors like the first one, motion and speech detecting accelerometers, and it's also got a force sensor. But one of the biggest differences is the H1 based system of Apple, which is different from the W1 chip. So this one is a lot more efficient, which means there's, I guess, less delay and lag with with music and things like that. But also the battery life has increased, and is the whole system, I guess, as a whole is more efficient than the first generation, which for me was one of the I guess one of the selling points, as well as of course, the active noise cancellation, which we'll get to in a minute. So yeah, I guess these are the kind of the biggest differences between the AirPods Pro and the AirPods first generation. With, I'd say, the biggest is, barring the fact that I still have a case on this, but the size difference, right? These are slightly bigger, but for me, I mean, I guess for some people, here's a side by side comparison. It's got the case on, but it's not that big of a deal because these are normally just thrown in my bag or something, and so even with a case on or something, it's fine. I don't really care about it too much. I don't really carry these in my pocket or something. I guess if you do, then that could be something you can think about. Maybe go for the second generation one if it's that big of a deal. But for me, it wasn't really a deal breaker. Now let's get on to the active noise cancellation. So that was kind of the coolest thing for me because I mean, look at the size of these things. I mean, when we're talking active cancellation, you're normally thinking of over the head earphones. Something, you've got the new Microsoft ones, and a whole bunch. You got the Beats Studios, Studio 3s, all that kind of stuff. But for these, I really thought, what could they actually do with these? And the answer is to that question is a lot, actually. I was quite surprised, but I was quite surprised at how well these actually work. I mean, of course, they're not without its own, faults and flaws, but for the most part, it actually works. It's it's not 100% foolproof. It won't exactly completely eliminate all noise, but in terms of kind of tuning out most background noise, it can actually get the job done pretty well. And it's even got transparency mode, which is like all these kind of new features that I guess which I guess is kind of I don't know. I mean, it kind of seemed like a gimmick. I mean, I tried using it. I didn't really notice that much. But the gist of it is that there's an inward-facing microphone that apparently listens inside your ear for unwanted sounds or like internal sounds, and which your AirPods Pro will, I guess, counter with anti noise. Yeah, that, that whole thing, I don't really use transparency mode that much, so, I'm either using this for music without active noise cancellation on or off, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, once again, even with active noise cancellation on, like I said, it's not foolproof. It won't work 100%. If you're really into that kind of stuff, I would suggest, maybe going for like this, the Sony, let's see, Sony WH-1000 XM3s or something. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, these guys will do the trick when it comes to, I'd say honestly, overhead earphones. These guys are the champs. Nothing comes close to these Sonys. I'm actually quite surprised I remembered the full name, weirdly enough. But yeah, these have kind of been my daily drivers when it comes to just, if I'm working at home or something. This is probably what I'd go for. Yeah, but again, if you look at the the size factor, just, and the portability, I'd say, these, for what, for the fact that they're compact, portable, and just, they're just so easy to use, I would say, if it came down to it, an overall package, I would honestly recommend these. Because you get quite a lot. And again, this isn't a review or anything. I'm just giving my opinion on, out of the headphones, the wireless earphones that I use, I'd say these do a pretty decent job. Alright guys, so that pretty much brings us towards the end of the video. Yeah, once again, this isn't exactly a review per se. If you want those, there's plenty on YouTube already. This is just my opinion and, from my personal experience, what I'd kind of recommend, If you've got, the first gen AirPods and you're looking for an upgrade, I would highly recommend you just go for the Pros instead of the second gen. If you don't even have any AirPods and you're looking to get go into the market for AirPods, I'd say, the second gen, they're so identical actually, physically, that just pretend, if I'm talking about second gen, just pretend these are it, Go for the, if you are on a budget, maybe go for the second gen AirPods. I mean, they take everything that's great about the first gen AirPods and make them even better. And yeah, I'm not the biggest, I'm not really an Apple fanboy or anything. These are the only Apple products I actually have. And and for good reason too, because, these actually do the job really well. And like I said, they really are the industry standard. I think, this whole wearable tech kind of craze, I would say, started with Apple. You got to give them some credit for it. From the Apple Watch to the the AirPods and stuff, they really did a decent job. And I think I read somewhere on Forbes that they make around $8 billion, just from the wearables tech industry. So they must be doing something right. And also, just me being on, just looking at a bunch of different YouTubers. I don't want to name any names or anything, or not, I'm not calling anyone out or trying to take any shots, but you see a bunch of YouTubers who always, they're sponsored by a bunch of, other wireless earphone manufacturers, like, the Jaybirds and all that kind of stuff. They get, it's so funny because even I think the Raycon earbuds and whatnot, they get sponsored and they talk about how amazing those earphones are and all the cool stuff. But after the video is done and they've been paid, if you actually look at their other videos, they go back to the AirPods. So it's not a diss, but I'm just saying, like, if they're going back to these, then it's not just me. It's there's a reason why these are the industry standard. And I know I've said that quite a few times. I know this video is a little bit long, but I still kind of believe that. And yeah, just, I guess, thanks for watching, guys. If you learned something, then that's great. I hope I helped you, make a decision on something. These are just my opinions. So, if you've, now that we've finished the video, maybe go down, comment if you have any questions or anything, or maybe, maybe you have another set of, earphones that you think are better than these. Let me know in the comments and I'll try and get to you. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I know this is a long video, but yeah, Siren AT out. Peace.